Hi Flosstube, I'm Lori and welcome to Once Upon a Stitch. Today is April 15th, what normally would have been tax day. They have extended it a couple of months. Today is my 51st Flosstube. Welcome for all those who have just joined me. Welcome to all my subscribers. I'm so happy that you come back twice a month to meet with me. I hope you're doing well under these circumstances. I know we all have good and bad times. We get into our minds of what's going on, and I try to be positive. I'm trying to not let it get me down. I do miss being with people. I miss my family, but hopefully what we're doing now will make it better for us in the future. So with that said, I want to move forward and show you what I've been up to. I did have one question about what is sheet metal from my last video, and this is sheet metal, and you have to be careful because it can cut you. And my husband picked it up for me at Home Depot, and basically he has utility scissors, and I cut little pieces like this off, and this attracts to magnets. And if I have a flat fold or anything really that I can attach a magnet to, and I can use this, and I can swap it out for the different seasons. Like if I have a nice frame that can be used for winter as well as summer, I can just take out the inside piece, and because of magnets and this, some people use washers, so that's what I use. I've been using sheet metal. And somebody had asked me about doing a tutorial on finishes, and that's a definitely no. I am not the person that you want to watch while I finish, because there are great videos out there. There's Java Girl does an awesome bow tutorial. As a matter of fact, I was watching it yesterday. I was trying to do this bow, and the next thing I know is I have red spots on a black bow, and I'm like, what the heck? I poked myself with the metal, so that went in the garbage. And then, so anyway, she has a good bow tutorial. Vanna Pfeiffer, the queen of finishing, she has awesome tutorials on just about anything, flat folds, pillows. I mean, the list goes on and on. So she has awesome videos. And then Priscilla and Chelsea, and in their videos, they always give you ideas of how they put it together. And they've also been on the Fat Quarter Shop's videos and showed you actually how to finish it. So there's those people that really know what they're doing, instead of me that pretend to know what I'm doing. So on that note, I'm going to show you some finishes that I've had. This is a previous finish that I showed, and this was hands-on design, and this was the second one that I just finished now. A little different, but similar in certain ways and then different in others. So that was Luminaria Lane, and that's my finish. I used invisible thread to attach this binding. This one went pretty easy for some reason with the invisible thread. This one was a little bit more, I don't know, it kept coming out of the needle, the thread, and then trying to re-thread it. Invisible thread is a pain. I do use a needle threader, and so that helps. This was a previous finish that I showed, and this was the second one, but this is finished straight, and this is finished as a diamond. I just wanted to show you the difference. So this was the previous finish. This is the one I just finished. I was thinking about it. I should have put a silver bell here. I have a silver bell, and there's some silver in the trim. I couldn't think of the word, that it would pick up off on. And the reason I finished it like this is because I forgot to hold the cardboard like that to make it an angle. So, but you see, it works either way, and that's the back. Okay, those are my two. So those are 4. This was a previous finish And in Priscilla's video, a lot of times she'll say, oh, I didn't like it was finished, so I redid it. So this one I never liked, but I forced myself to finish it. I don't know why. Maybe because I didn't know how I was going to finish it, and I just said, let me finish it. But I pulled it off. And so that was the front. The piece was here, and that was the back. But it, I don't know, didn't do anything for me. So I redid it, and I put it on here. And now I can snap it up on an easel. Blessed are the pure at heart. I don't remember if this was a country cottage pattern. I can't find the pattern, so I'm assuming I shared it with somebody. And I finished it like that this time. I think I like it better in the red rather than in the blue. So that was a previous finish as well. Then I fully finished Tra La La Easter Egg Hunt. I gifted the pattern to Julie, Kansas City girl in a Colorado world. She said she liked Tra La La patterns, so I shared them with her. And my friend Alva dropped off some fabric on my doorstep. We kept our distance, and I swapped her out some Ada, and she gave me some fabric, and it matches perfectly. I was going to do a flat fold, but I decided I liked the pillow, this in a pillow, and I did do my own ruching here, and it was like this, and it's like a seam binding, and people would seamstress used to put this on the bottom of hems and then either blind stitch it with a machine or hand stitch the hem up. I don't know if they use this anymore, but anyway, I went to Needle Fest and they were selling this. There was somebody vending, and I purchased some different colors, and this was one of the colors, and it finally came into use. I purchased it last May. So what I did was I did a running stitch on this, and instead of just going straight across, I went in a V, running up and down, and then I shirred as I was going. So actually I used one thread, no, two only because after I got so far it started to knot up on me. Because I used a thread that matched, so I didn't use heavy duty or anything that would show up. And I know a lot of people do put beads along the way, but I didn't have anything to match, and I kind of like it plainer like that. So this pillow, just to give you an idea, took me 3 hours to complete. Not stitching, but finishing it. Between the sewing, the stuffing, the ruching, and the attaching, it took me 3 hours. But I love the way it came out. So now I'm going to bring it downstairs and enjoy it for a while before I put it away. This finish I finished last, I think it was last video I shared the finish with you. Now I fully finished it, and that's Satsuma Street Autunno, and I love the way it came out in this frame. I think it just like pops. Yeah, I really like it. So I was happy to have this frame. This frame was one of those finds in a thrift store. And it had a picture in it, and actually the picture was this picture. And I just wrote down what the pattern was and everything. So that was that one. And then another finish. I was stitching last night, was it? No, 2 nights ago I started a piece that I was stitching. And my husband said to me, a witch's hat? Why are you stitching Halloween now? And I said, well, I don't think I answered him, actually. You know, I say like, oh, it takes time to finish. You know, by the time Halloween comes, I'll have it done. He says, you should be stitching the 4th of July. So I said, yeah, I probably should. So I came upstairs later on and I looked through my stash to see what I had for the 4th of July. Other than, you know, like the Lizzie Kate's pillows that I had already done, like for the month of July, and Little House Needleworks a monthly cottage for July, which I stitched a while ago. I did all 12 months of, you know, them all. So I have those, but not too much for patriotic and a lot of them came out this year, like little ones for pillows and stuff, and I really like them. But I didn't order them yet, and I was going to go back and order, but I put an order in with 123 Stitch at the beginning of our lockdown, and that came relatively quickly. So I put another order in for my birthday, and it hasn't arrived, and it said it was going to be shipped on the 13th originally. Then it said the 13th it was going to be shipped on the 17th. Now when I checked, it says not till the 27th of May. That they're also, you know, the workers are not all going in, and so. And then I also put an order in with my L&S, and I don't know how long I'll have to wait. And he said some of the fabrics were in, some of them were not. I don't know if they're going to ship what they have and then wait for the rest. So anyway, I just thought I'd wait. I mean, I have stuff to keep me busy. It's just a lot of times the threads I'm concerned about, because you run out. Anyway, okay. So anyway, I also finished this, and it would be for the 4th of July. I left the corners on because I want to not chip it before I hang it up. I've got the frame at Michael's, and here's my finish on Liberty Lane. I was watching the bow tutorial from Java Girl, and yeah, my bows do need work, and probably after we can get out to the stores, I can maybe get better ribbon or do something else, but for now this is fine. And this has a little ledge, so I really like it. And I attached this with magnets. I used a number of magnets because I didn't want to glue the magnets on the other side and attach the sheet metal on the piece. The sheet metal is attached to the piece, but I didn't want to glue the magnets on because this is a chalkboard, and I don't know how I want to change it later on for the different seasons. But I love this the way it came out, and I'm just going to get, maybe when we can get out again, larger magnets at the hardware store, Home Depot or whatever, and see if I can use less of them to hold the piece in place. Okay, that's about it. So I think I mentioned everybody about finishing, yes. So the reason I'm confused a little bit right now is because I started this video at least 10 times. I ran through it the whole time, watched it back, and forgot that I promised to talk about the sheet metal and the tutorials of who finishes what. So I was like, okay, let it go. Let's do it again. So that's why I'm like, did I say everything? So anyway, the end of March was when I made my last video, and I had a couple of days left in March for stitching. So I picked up Christmas at Hollyberry Farm, and I worked on the top border across to make sure that it was going to fit. That was my intention. I worked down the last time, and this time I worked across the piece so that it would fit. And I did the alphabet from U to the end of the row, and then the numbers on the next row and the borders in between. And I did 3 at the top and 2 down of the leaf. And then I just started the little squirrel and the tree there. And I am enjoying this. That's a big house, and right now I don't think I have enough threads to finish the house, so I'll probably be working on other parts of this until we can get our threads that we need, and hope that the dye lot is the same. And then the last of March I worked on Holiday Quaker by Lila's Studio, and I worked on the bottom section by the houses here. I believe this snowflake was here, but I'm not really sure. But I know the tree, the bells, and the church were, and then I came down the road. So what I did was I worked on the trees here, the houses here, And then I started this section that's going to say Merry Christmas in there. So this is the entire piece. I know you can see through it because of the window. I forget to bring a white mat board to hold behind the pieces. That was my working copy. Here's the original pattern. So this says Happy Holidays, but inside it's also charted for a Merry Christmas. So that was the end of March. Then started April and me wanting to start everything. I know this for some reason is coming dark and light, and I guess the lighting outside has to do with it. I don't want to touch the camera. I don't want to jiggle it on you. But I did start, and I did have a finish on this one. This is Fragments in Time by Summer House. And here's my finish. Fully finished. And it's funny, when I first finished this, and I looked at this, and like the reds look redder, and it looks like blue because there's blue attached to the outside. But I used the call for mulberry, and I don't know, it just looks greener to me, so I finished it in green way. And then I put this trim on. I got that at Hobby Lobby. It does ravel really quickly, so I had to cut an extra length, stitch down the side of it so that it wouldn't. I'm trying to figure out how I got this down. I might have tacked it down with a little glue underneath here after it was stitched so that it wouldn't sag afterwards. And here's the back with a piece of lint on it. Fabric I had in my stash. And that's my pillow. So that was a new start and a finish on that one. Okay, then this was my actual April 1st start. It was Easter Parade. I know a lot of people have finished it. Some are working on it now. And this is done on a 25 count Lugana in cream. It's going to be larger than most everybody else's. But it's okay. And that's how far I've gotten on that one. It's a Swigart based fabric. So I'll have extra fabric on the other side that I might be able to squeeze in some kind of small. So this was the pattern that my husband mentioned, the witch's hat. This is Satsuma Street Halloween Cat. And I worked on it last night and the night before. And they're out of order because I went through this already. Okay, 14 count Ada in Flapper by Picture This Plus. So I started at the top on the cat, and that's again the picture. Actually, the color in the moon, that yellow, in the last video that I made of this, it didn't show. It showed totally white. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. What changes? Okay, so 2 Sundays ago I was watching the Coffee Stitcher, Garrett, and somebody asked him what was his favorite and what pattern to stitch and which was his not least favorite, but he chose this one, and I was working on it that Sunday while I was listening to him. It's Lizzie Kate, Things Unseen. And when I then questioned him in the following week, he explained that he felt that the border was a lot of border. He was, this is when he was starting to stitch. And then some of the motifs were, I don't know. I don't remember exactly what he said, but this was the one he said. But he said he finished it. He gave it to his mom. His mom loves it. And I've seen this on Pam and Steph's wall. Just Keep Stitching. It's on the wall at that place, and somebody else showed it. And I really do love it. I don't know if it's because when I was starting, I was just working on the border, but I have made so many errors on this, and I didn't pull them out. I'm going to work around them because I think I could fudge it. And because threads are at a premium. Okay, the best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart, is what it's going to totally say when it's all done. But the border is fine. I didn't make any mistakes on the border yet. But the best, it was supposed to be done in this color. And that red was supposed to be here. So wherever is the red, I'm putting the brown, and where the brown is, I'm putting the red, just to keep it, because it was a slash this way or slash that way, and I just read it wrong. And I didn't want to pull it out because of, you know, having enough thread in the end. So anyway, this is done on a 28 count Lugana in mushroom. And other than that, there's a few errors, but it's not something that just can't be fixed or worked around. So at the end, I'm writing them all down, my errors. So at the end, I will share them with you. And probably if I didn't say anything, maybe nobody would have noticed. Or, I mean, maybe the colors you would have, but the other little errors that I made might have gone unseen. But I just want to say that I've come to learn that I'm not perfect by no means. And though I try to strive to do really as good as possible on my cross stitch, I make errors. And sometimes I pull them out, and sometimes I don't. The next one was The Long and Winding Road by Blackbird. Now this calls for it to be stitched on 36 count so that it would fit on that box. I don't stitch anything larger usually than 28, unless it's Ada, and I could have done it on 18 count. But I didn't have the right color, and anyway, I'm doing this on a 25 count cream. And I think this was, wait, I wrote it down. Lugana, it's Lugana in eggshell. So this is my piece for that. It'll be interesting to see, I have a little fuzz there, how I finish this. I'm going to see how, you know, like what I have that I could make it work. Ooh, make it a round disc. The next one that I started, which wasn't on the original notes that I told you I was going to do, I had 7 planned, but I ended up doing 8, and it's Scattered Seed Samplings and Spring Gathering, and this is the ABC, and then she did a second one that has 1, 2, 3 that goes with this. So eventually I'll have to get that one and try stitching on that. And I am stitching this on a 28 count Lugana, and I think this is Springfield Sage. You can't see it, but I really like it. Okay, let's get in here. So I got the rabbit and the Easter basket done. I put it next to it like that. So I have the ABCs, the key, and some flowers around. Maybe in another, okay, it's not going to be done for Easter past, but hopefully it'll be ready for next Easter. And hopefully we'll be able to celebrate as a family together. Another one I started was Tra-La-La on the Beach. Here you go. Now, the colors are in French. And inside it does have the DMC conversion. But as you can see, there's some variegation to the sand and to the water. So I swapped my blues out, and I made some changes, and I did my own colors, and I'm hoping it's going to be okay at the end. And in this pattern right here, I'm not sure what this thing is. I don't know if it's like to dig in the sand. Get close so you can look at it. Not really sure. I guess I'm shaking a little bit because it doesn't want to focus on it. So I'm thinking of either doing another pail, maybe with a shovel, or there's a boat on the other, sailboat on the other side. Maybe I'll do it on that side as well. I haven't decided, but I'm definitely not going to stitch that because I don't know what it is. So that's how I've gotten. You know, being that during the day there's not too much to do. Can only do so much cleaning and outside and this and that, I get a little bit more stitching done. So it, you know, kind of good. Things move quickly. Okay, that's what I've been stitching on. Now, what will I be stitching on? If you don't want, I'll pull them out. I'll show them to you if there's no stitching done on them now, but I will be showing them my progress on the next one, but I'll show you what I'll be working on. I just want to say that I am starting one more today, and that is the Drawn Thread Sunnyside Stampler. I already put it in the frame and Q-snap and brought it downstairs to my stitching chair, and when I get a chance and I decide to start it, I will just sit down and start it, and that I will share with you at the next one, along with what I'm going to be stitching on now and my Maynia plans. Now, I know people are doing, last year they did 19 for 19, this year 20 for 20. I did 9 starts last year for 9, in the 9 of 2019, and the year before that I think I did 8. But this year, I think I made a list of all the ones I want to start, and start fairly soon compared, I mean I have others too, but that I want to start, but I have so many bags, so I had to put them in a bag so that I can say I'm starting them. So I had 16, and I said that I wasn't going to do it all in 1 month because I don't want to just do a day or a couple of hours on it and put it away and say I started it. I wanted to continue with my rotations of doing 2 days. So what I'm decided to do was, I think I have 16, so I'll probably do 8 in May and 8 in June. And then the rest of the month I'm going to do my whips of the ones that I want to get accomplished for my Stitch 10. I don't think I'm going to make the Stitch 10 challenge this year. It was good intentions, like I might get 6 done. I don't know if I'll get all 10 done, but I'm going to give it my best shot because like I say, I do 2 days a month on it, and some of them were larger than I thought. And you know, people say to me, "Oh, well, why don't you work 4 days on it?" I said, well, that's not what I want to do. I want to work 2 days and move on. So we'll see how far I get. I mean, it'll be exciting to see. But so I'm going to be picking up Little House Needleworks, and I'm up to Abigail Adams, number 7 out of the 9. And that's the bottom box there. Very small start the last time. I had just finished Paul Revere. So I don't know if I can finish Abigail in 2 days, but 2 rotations definitely. Next, I'm looking forward to this, is Heartstring Samplery, His Eye is on the Sparrow, and I also love the new one that came out, but I want to make sure that I complete all my projects before I even consider doing that one. I'll consider the lilies. And I did the top border, though I didn't finish all the flowers. I don't know what you're seeing, but there you go. So I'm looking forward to picking this up again. And this is done on a 28 count Lugana, and I had asked Jimmy to do it in like doubloon, and they don't have the color doubloon as Picture This Plus is, but it's close. It's called Heritage. Really pretty. I like it a lot. Okay, I'm going to try and finish this within 2 more rotations, and this is how far I've gotten on the Girl Pilgrim. So I have the bottom whole section down there. Okay, my Templar Prophecy, I finished the 3rd page. Now the thought, now the decision of either to work down or work across. I think it's going to be across. I think I want to work straight across, get that top border done. It's 2 more pages of that. It reminds me like of a wrought iron fence. I'm going to make sure I put this, the pencils marks aren't. Every couple of stitches that I make, I highlight. I'm really good at highlighting that one. This one is Prairie Schooler, Village Sampler. I would love to get this done before Christmas. This is one of the Stitch 10s. So I'm more than halfway done. I'm like, I guess almost a third if I brought the border down, and then the final row at the bottom. So might be a possibility. More. Okay, I showed you this one. This was the pine tree from Jack Frost's Tree Farm. So the next one I'm going to do is Douglas fir. And then after this one, I'll do the balsam, and that's all I'm going to do from that. And I'm going to finish these 3, most likely in pillows. And Jack Frost's Tree Farm sign will be a flat finish. I don't know if I can get like a board of some sort that can put that and then put hooks on the bottom and hang the pillows from the hooks. That's what I'm thinking. Next one was Little House Needlework, the pet store. I'm hoping I can fit in the tree at the end, the pine tree. I cut it a little bit too short. Here, and then the snowflakes in the bottom row of snow. I should finish it in this next rotation. So that's what I'll be working on, and I hope you enjoyed your time with me. Please, please, please stay safe, and until next time, happy stitching. Bye guys.